Hi everyone, welcome to the first webinar out of a series of webinars, series of 4 webinars actually, conducted in lieu of the upcoming strategic case study examinations happening in May 2023. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for SCS at TCS. So let's look at the session outcomes for tonight. So first things first, I'm going to provide information about the SCS exam or give you an indication about the technical nitty-gritties pertaining to the SCS exam. Because there might be students who are not coming through the CIMA general route or students who are coming through the exemption routes. So in such a context, you might not have done a CIMA case study exam before. If that is the case, you need to understand how the CIMA examination is structured, and you need to know the technicalities behind it. And in the second part of tonight's webinar, I will be taking you through a 6-week study plan. So if you stick to this study plan, you can easily ensure that you do everything which is needed when it comes to preparing for the examination, and on top of that you do it in a stress-free manner, and you'd understand how this is done once I take you through the 6-week study plan. Okay, so let's look at the schedule when it comes to the upcoming SCS webinars. So as you know, the first webinar is happening right now, where I'm gonna take you through the 6-week study plan. Then the second webinar is dedicated towards the pre-scene analysis. As you all know, your pre-scene document is gonna be released on the 3rd of April, which is a Monday. So Monday at 7 p.m. UK time, I will be conducting a pre-scene analysis. So that's an important webinar. And within the second webinar or pre-scene analysis webinar, I will also highlight about what you need to do when it comes to bringing in information from the pre-scene, because at the SCS level, you are playing the role of a senior finance manager. You are involved with decision making. So as an individual who's involved with strategic decision making, you need to have an outside in approach. So it's of utmost importance that you bring in a lot of information from the pre-scene when developing your answers. So all these techniques and tips pertaining to application of pre-scene info in your answers, as well as how to relate it to the pre-scene as much as possible, how to relate your answer to the scenario presented in the question. All these things will be highlighted within the second webinar, which is happening on the 3rd of April. And on top of that, I will be conducting an industry analysis as well. As I told you earlier, as a senior finance manager, you need to have an outside-in approach. So you have to be really conversant with what happens within your chosen industry. So that happens within the second webinar. And the third webinar is the most important out of the 4 webinars. Why am I saying it? Because within the third webinar, I will be highlighting about answer planning technique and time management technique. So as per my experience as a CIMA tutor, what I've seen is most students end up failing the exam because they do not have an understanding about how to manage time. So most students run out of time, and because of that, they end up providing half-hearted answers or incomplete answers. And once you provide incomplete answers, you cannot pass the SCS exam. Since this is the last examination within the CIMA examination structure, if you provide incomplete answers, there's absolutely no chance of you passing the exam. So it's of utmost importance that you understand how to manage your time properly. And on top of that, you need to understand how to develop answer plans, or you need to understand answer planning technique or answer structuring technique. So most students, as per my experience, what I've seen is most students, when they start developing answers, what they do is they would read the question and straight away they would start typing the answer. and halfway through the answer they would realize that they are headed in the wrong direction, or they realize that the answer is not aligned or attuned to the requirement which is highlighted within the question. So these students end up deleting the answer and typing it from scratch once more. And when you do that, at the back of your mind, you know for a fact that you had wasted a lot of time, and this leads to a lot of stress. So because of this stress, you will end up providing half-hearted answers. So instead of doing it, rather than reading the entire question and trying to type the answer straight away, you need to allocate some time to plan your answer appropriately, allocate some time to think properly. Then the quality of your answer would significantly improve. Then you will be in a position to manage your time appropriately, thereby providing a high quality and complete answer. So all these things will be highlighted within the third webinar based on a mini mock, where I will be decrypting the question as well as the answer, and practically explaining to you guys based on an answer plan as to what you need to do when it comes to developing answer plans or answer structures, and what you need to do when it comes to managing your time appropriately. So out of the 4 webinars, the third one is the most important. So I hope you guys would attend it for sure. And the fourth webinar is happening on the 29th of April at 18 GMT or 7 p.m. UK time. And this is in this webinar, I'll highlight about what you need to do when it comes to preparing for your exam. And in this webinar, in the fourth webinar, I will be taking you through examiner's comments, because you need to understand the exact requirements of the examiner. You need to understand the mindset of the examiner if you are to excel at this exam. So I will be taking you through examiner's comments, thereby highlighting tips, as well as things which you need to do when it comes to developing high quality answers and ensuring that you pass the exam for sure. And on top of that, I will also highlight about what you need to do to develop confidence both before the exam as well as whilst you are attempting your real exam. Because as per the CIMA examiner, students who are open-minded and students who are confident both before the exam as well as whilst attempting the exam has a higher chance of passing the SCS exam extremely comfortably. Okay, so all these things are extremely relevant to you guys, and I hope you would attend all these upcoming webinars. So having said that, let's get into the technicalities pertaining to the strategic case study. So first things first, let's look at the different types of routes which are available for you to attempt your SCS exam. So there are a set of students who are coming through the CIMA general route. So you would have done your operational case study examination, your management case study examination. So you should be extremely conversant with the case study structure of CIMA exams, okay? And you would have done your OTQ exams pertaining to E3, P3, and F3. So you'd have an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical content, as well as you'd know the technicalities pertaining to the SCS exam. So if you are a student who is coming through the CIMA general route, you'd find SCS to be a walk in the park, because out of the 3 case studies, SCS is the easiest if you know your theory and if you know how to apply this theory in an appropriate manner. And there are another set of students coming through the CGMA route as well as the FLP route. So let me talk about students coming through the CGMA route. So these are the type of students who had worked at top management for more than 5 years, or who had played senior managerial roles for something like 10 years. So you guys are coming to the SCS exam straight away. And the same could be said about students coming through the FLP route as well. although students coming through FLP might have a finance qualification. They usually do a finance qualification, and those who end up at SCS straight away have done a finance special or an MBA, which is focused on, or an MSc, which is focused on finance. Although this is the case, the theoretical aspects or the concepts which are covered within the CIMA syllabus is a bit different to that of any other educational qualification. Why am I saying it? Because this is not an academic qualification. CIMA is a professional qualification. So in an academic qualification, what happens is you learn your theory and you do an assignment or you attempt an examination, and the invigilators are trying to figure out whether you know your theory properly, or whether you understand the concepts properly. But in this exam, at the strategic case study examination, the examiner is trying to understand whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical concepts in an extremely practical manner. So you, just because you know your theory, you can't pass the exam. You need to focus on application skills. You need to understand how you are supposed to apply theory in a real life business environment. Okay, so all these things with regards to application, as well as understanding the theoretical elements, all these things will be covered within the third webinar. And most students who are coming through the CGMA and the FLP routes struggle a bit when it comes to the SCS exam, because sometimes they lack knowledge about theoretical content, especially pertaining to P3 and F3 related areas, risk management, as well as finance strategy related areas. And on top of that, most students, what I've encountered is, even if they know theory, they do not know how to apply theory to a practical real life business issue. So these are the problems faced by these students, but there's absolutely nothing for you guys to worry, because we at TCS, we had developed a special study package which is extremely beneficial for these students who are coming through CGMA and FLP routes, because we are conducting a set of master classes. You will get to know about these things when I'm explaining the 6-week study plan. And via these master classes, we are teaching theory as well as highlighting how to apply theoretical concepts within your answers. So these things will be covered in depth later on. Okay, so let's look at the exam, the structure of the exam. This is a PC based examination, and the total time allocation is 3 hours, and your paper would be divided into 3 main areas or 3 main tasks, and the time allocation for each task would be 60 minutes. So as I told you earlier, most students struggle to manage their time. So if you attend the third webinar, you'd know what to do within these 60 minutes when you are attempting your exam. And the pass mark is 80 marks out of 150, or 54%. So let me take you through an overview of the exam. So information is provided about a fictitious company based on a pre-seen document. So students who are coming through the CIMA general route, and students who have done any case study, a CIMA case study, would know what I'm talking about, and what what is covered under a pre-seen document. So the examiner is giving you information about a company via something called a pre-seen document. So within this pre-seen, the examiner is giving you an indication about the company, based on which your exam questions are developed. Okay, so the examiner gives you an indication about the history of the company, what the company is up to at the moment, what happens within different departments, the type of leadership within the company, whether they are adhering to corporate governance regulations or not, and on top of that, the type of markets the company operates in, the type of products and services the company provides to the market, all these things will be, all these type of information will be provided. And on top of that, the examiner will give you an indication about industry dynamics, the type of competitors, market shares of the competitors, what these competitors are up to, and the type of competition which is there within the market. All these information about the industry will be provided. And on top of that, the examiner will also give you information pertaining to the financial performance of the company. So the SOPL, the SOFP, as well as the statement of changes in equity, these three financial statements will be shared with you. So after going through the pre-seen document, you should be able to understand the internal dynamics about the company, as well as the industry dynamics. And on top of that, you should be able to understand the financial performance as well, or understand where the company stands in a financial sense. And most of the time, the examiner will be giving you information about a public limited company or a PLC, which is listed within some countries' stock exchange. Okay, so you need to have a good understanding about all these aspects, which are highlighted within the pre-scene. And after you understand, or after you gain an understanding about the pre-scene, you are required to address issues or questions relating to the strategic direction of the company. So what is the strategic direction telling us about? The strategic direction is about the long run of the company. So you are supposed to be involved with long-term decision making. You are supposed to provide solutions to issues faced by the company, thinking about the long term. So as an individual who's involved with strategic decision making, as I told you earlier, you need to have something called an outside in approach. So whenever you are taking a decision, you need to see whether it makes sense, taking into consideration the industry dynamics. So if you're not conversant about what happens within the industry, and blindly if you take decisions, it's not gonna be too relevant, because whenever you are involved with strategic decision making, you need to think about your competitors as well as your connected and external stakeholders. You need to think about the customers, your suppliers, if there are any agents or dealers working with you, you need to think about them, how your decision is going to affect them. And on top of that, you need to think about, especially you need to think about how your decision is going to be seen by the competitors, and how the competitors are going to react to your decision. So that's why you need to have an outside in approach when being involved with strategic decision making. So whenever you are providing recommendations or solutions to issues which are highlighted within your exam paper, the examiner is trying to understand whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge about the company as well as the industry. So that's why I said you need to understand the pre-scene extremely well. Okay, so if you understand the pre-scene extremely well, you'd come up with decisions or recommendations which are extremely relevant to the company as well as the industry. And on top of that, the examiner is not only trying to figure out whether you know about the internal dynamics of the company as well as industry dynamics. The examiner tries to check whether you have an appropriate level of knowledge about theoretical content pertaining to E3, P3, and F3 related areas. So remember, a higher amount of prominence is provided to your E3 syllabus, because that's where all these strategic decision making related concepts are taught. However, you need to know your F3 and P3 as well, because just because you utilize some concept to provide an answer, if your answer doesn't make financial sense, if your answer is not attuned with what is depicted within the financial statements of the company, you won't get any marks. And on top of that, under P3, risk management or strategic risks as well as how to manage them, all these things will be highlighted. So you need to know your P3 in depth as well. So you need to know your theories as well as possess a good amount of knowledge about the company as well as the industry. Let's look at what your role is, so what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to play the role of a senior finance manager. Okay, so as I told you earlier, the examiner gives you information about a company, its industry, as well as the financial performance, and you are supposed to play the role of a senior finance manager who is directly reporting to the board members. So you are involved with, as I told you earlier, you are involved with strategic decision making. You are with the top level guys within the organization. So as you already know, as you already should know, in any given organization, it has 3 tiers. So at the very top, you get the strategic level guys or the board members, and these board members are involved with strategic decision making. At the lowest level, you get the operational level employees. These operational level employees are the individuals who would implement the decisions taken by the board members, and these operational level employees are involved with day-to-day running of the company. And there are a set of individuals at the tactical level or the middle level of the organization, which creates the link between the strategic level as well as the operational level. So you are at the tactical level. However, you are directly reporting to the board members. That's what your role depicts. You are playing the role of a senior finance manager. So as a senior finance manager, you have to be part and parcel of long-term decision making. And on top of that, you should have some type of an understanding about how to control the operational level employees. Why? As I told you earlier, operational level guys are implementing the decisions which are taken by the strategic level or the board members. So when it comes to making, in order to make sure that the operational level guys are implementing the strategies appropriately, you need to implement controls as a senior finance manager. So you have 2 roles to play. You are involved with the decision making, as well as you are supposed to come up with controls so that you ensure that operational level employees are operating in the best way possible. Okay, so that's what your designation depicts. And as a senior finance manager, there is a high level of application as well as practical thinking expected for SCS. So theories will be tested. As I told you earlier, E3, P3 and F3 related theoretical concepts will be tested, and your paper will be E3 heavy. And on top of that, practical decision making will be heavily tested. Just because you know your theory, you cannot pass this exam. You would have passed your OCS and MCS exams by remembering theory, but you can't do the same in here. You need to understand your theories, but application is key. Practical decision making is key, because the type of questions, when you go through the mock exams, you'd understand what I'm talking about. The type of questions which are thrown at you will always ask for recommendations from you. So you can't, whenever the board members are seeking for recommendations or seeking for long-term solutions, you can't simply replicate theoretical answers or highly theoretical answers. Instead, you need to bring in theory, at the same time bring in information from the pre-scene, and ensure that you relate to the scenario or relate to the information presented in the scenario. And at the very end, you need to figure out how to address the concerns which are highlighted within the question as well. So there's a lot on your plate, but there's absolutely nothing to worry. We have developed a study system, and if you stick to this study system, you can easily pass this examination. Right, so let's look at the to-do list with regards to what you need to do in the upcoming 7 weeks. As you should know, you have 7 weeks until your exam, and you need to get all these things right. before attempting your exam in May. So first things first, you are supposed to read something called the annotated pre-scene. Okay. So as I told you earlier, the examiner will be giving you information about a company through a pre-scene document. And we at TCS, what we do is we develop something called an annotated pre-scene so that students are in a position to easily understand the information which is presented within the pre-scene. So usually the pre-scene document goes on to 25 to 30 pages, and it's information heavy, and you can't remember all the necessary information which is presented within the pre-scene. So in order to make your life easier, what we at TCS, what we do is we develop something called an annotated pre-scene. Okay, so within this pre-scene, what we do is, as you can see for yourselves, we come up with annotations, and within these annotations, we are summarizing the most important, or we are taking out the most important information from the pre-scene, thereby summarizing the entire pre-scene. And on top of that, we are also highlighting the different types of theoretical elements or concepts which can be tested as well. And on top of all these things, what we do is we as tutors, we can understand whenever the examiner is throwing a hint at you, we can understand that it's there, and based on that we can suggest probable exam scenarios which you would see within your paper. So all these things are done via the annotated pre-scene. So if you go through the annotated pre-scene, it will be easier for you to remember all the necessary information about the company, its industry, as well as financial performance. And on top of that, you are in a position to realize the theoretical elements which can be tested, as well as scenarios which might be thrown at you at the real exam. Okay, so that's what the annotated pre-scene is there for. And on top of that, we will be sharing with you 4 TikTok videos, and within these 4 TikTok videos, we'll be summarizing the entire pre-scene within 10 to 12 minutes. So what I want you guys to do is, once you get your hands on these TikTok videos on a daily basis, keep watching them. You just need to allocate 10 minutes of your time to do it. And once you do it on a continuous basis until your exam, you'd remember all the important information. So in such a context, you can easily bring in information from the pre-scene rather than having to study a lot or go through a lot of information and try to figure out which of the information is actually important and which of the information is not. So you have nothing to worry about the pre-scene document, because we have taken care of it for you. And we have developed 4 pre-scene analysis videos based on the pre-scene as well. So when you are preparing for your examination, you need to watch these 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So it is divided into 4 areas. In the first area, I'll be providing an introduction into your chosen company, and I'll be conducting an industry analysis as well. Then I'll highlight the internal dynamics of the company. And at the very end, in the 4th video, pre-scene analysis video rather, I'll be conducting a financial analysis based on the financial analysis slides. So let me show you the financial analysis slides. So oops, these are the industry analysis slides. So let me show you the financial analysis slides. So what we do is we analyze the financial statements in an extremely understandable manner. And on top of that, we come up with our own narratives based on the financial statements. So once you go through all this information, you are in a position to better understand all the information, or decrypt the financial statements provided to you. And the same could be said about the statement of financial position as well. So I've calculated the percentage change between the 2 years, and based on these numbers, I've explained what these numbers tell us about, or what all these numerics tell us about the financial position of the company. And a ratio analysis is also conducted, looking at four main areas. Again, the percentage difference is considered based on 2 years, and each and every ratio is analyzed in depth so that you know where the company stands, what its shortcomings are when it comes to its financial performance, and what it needs to do to overcome these shortcomings. And you need to utilize all this information when providing answers at your real exam, because as I told you earlier, as a senior finance manager, your title itself tells that you are involved with finance. You need to know your F3 or finance strategy. So in order, whenever providing recommendations, in order to make sure that your recommendations are financially sound, you need to go through these slides. Then you need not analyze the financial statements. We have done it for you. You are supposed to just remember the information which are provided, remember the shortcomings as well as the solutions for each and every finance related shortcoming. So we've made your life easier there as well by providing these financial analysis slides. And on top of that, the most important thing is to practice 5 exam standard mock exams. This is the most important thing. And when I'm taking you or when I'm conducting the fourth webinar, when I'm taking you through the examiner's comments, you'd understand how important this is, because without practicing mock exams, you can't pass this exam comfortably. Okay, so I've seen students, what they usually do is they wait until the last 2 weeks or the last week until the exam, and because of a lack of time, they just attempt 1 or 2 exams, mock exams, before the real exam. So by attempting 1 or 2 mock exams, you can't cover the entire theoretical elements or the entire syllabus, which comes under SCS. So if you have to cover all areas pertaining to E3, F3, and P3, you need to do 5 mock exams. Okay, so we have developed 5 mock exams, and via these 5 mock exams, we are covering theory on its entirety. And on top of that, all 5 mock exams are based on the pre-scene, or all 5 mock exams are pre-scene relevant. So it's of utmost importance that you practice 5 mock exams before you attempt your exam. And on top of that, I've seen most students out there, when it comes to practicing mock exams, they tend to utilize mock exams which were relevant to a previous pre-scene. They go through previous exam variants, thereby looking at questions or practicing questions taken from a previous pre-scene, or practicing questions which are relevant to a previous pre-scene document. Okay, that is not going to help you when it comes to preparations, because you need to understand that within each pre-scene, the type of information or the internal dynamics, industry dynamics, as well as the financial performance is totally different to each other. So if you are to really prepare yourself, and if you are to improve your application skills, you need to do pre-scene specific or pre-scene relevant mock exams. Okay, so that's what we provide at TCS. You have to definitely practice this. I can't highlight the importance of this much more than this. And you are supposed to attend the live master classes, webinars, and workshops. We do weekly master classes, webinars, or workshops. So you are supposed to attend them. So via the master classes, what we do is based on the suggested answers of mocks, we are teaching you theory as well as application. So as a senior finance manager, practical decision making is heavily tested. So you need to be champions in application if you are to excel at your examination. So in such a context, if you are to apply your knowledge, first things first, you need to know your theory. So that's exactly why we are conducting these master classes, especially students who are coming through the exemption routes. They have gaps in knowledge when it comes to theoretical concepts. And on top of that, these students lack an appropriate level of understanding about how to apply theoretical knowledge to a real business scenario. So in order to provide a solution to your shortcomings, we have developed these live master classes. And via these master classes, what we are doing is we are explaining the answers of mocks 1 to 5. And whilst explaining the answer, we are teaching you theory, as well as we are teaching you how to improve your application skills as well. Okay, so these are the master classes. It's of utmost importance you attend them as well. And you are supposed to refer to slides pertaining to industry analysis, financial analysis, top 20 issues, as well as theory recaps pertaining to E3, F3, and P3. If you go through our theory recap slides, you can easily grasp an understanding about the most important theoretical elements, as well as brush up your knowledge in these areas. So let me take you through the industry analysis slides, which is extremely important to students who are doing SCS, because you need to adopt an outside-in approach. So it's better you understand the industry dynamics better. So most students, what they do is once the pre-scene is out, they will try to do their own research about the real life dynamics of the chosen industry. So let's assume your industry is into manufacturing vehicles. I'm not saying that this time's pre-scene might be that. We have to wait until Monday to see the 3rd of April to see what your pre-scene is based on. But let's assume your pre-scene highlights about a company which is into manufacturing vehicles. So when it comes to vehicle manufacturing, it's better to know about real life industry dynamics, or what happens within the real vehicle manufacturing industry. So in order to get an understanding about this, you need to do your own research about vehicle manufacturers out there. You need not do it, because we are doing it for you. Our industry analysis slides consists of 4 main areas. We'll be providing an overview onto the industry. We'll be explaining about the competitive landscape. We'll highlight industry trends, because you need to understand industry trends, or you need to have a good grasp of what's going to happen in the future, because you can include these things within your answer to improve the quality of the answer. And on top of that, at the very end, we'll be providing real world examples based on 2 real life companies, so that you better understand how these companies operate. And once you do, you can bring in all this information to your pre-scene to further improve your answers as well. Okay, so these are the type of slides you'd get your hands on. So we'll highlight the real life market dynamics, highlight information about the competitive landscape, the market shares, segmentation, industry trends, then at the very end, provide real life examples based on real life companies. So you need not do your research. We have done it for you in this area as well. And you are supposed to watch the 12 pre-recorded master classes, so where I'll be explaining the answers pertaining to mocks 3 to 5. And again, a high level of prominence will be provided with regards to covering theoretical elements, and on top of that, covering application. And you are supposed to refer to answer plans of mocks 1 to 5. No other service provider is giving you this service. So what others, what our competitors, what they do is they give you the 5 mock exams with suggested answers. But we have gone a step further. We are providing answer plans or answer summaries for all 5 mocks. Why are we doing it? Because most of the time in the past, what we did was we asked the students to develop their own answer summaries based on the suggested answers of all 5 mocks. And when we ask the students to do it, what we have encountered is most students don't do it properly. They leave out important information, or their study summaries are too short or too concise. So in such a context, you cannot learn by going through these answer plans. You can't learn properly or learn fully by going through these answer plans. So in order to bridge this shortcoming, we have decided to develop answer plans on our own and give it to you. So closer to the exam, rather than going through pages and pages of suggested answers, you have a summary of all 5 mocks. Simply, you can go through the summaries, and when you look at the summary, you are in a position to understand the structure of the answer, how the answer has addressed the concerns which are highlighted within the question, and how pre-scene related information had been brought into the answer to improve the quality of the answer. So all these things can be achieved by via these study summaries, and that's what that's something which we are offering exclusively. So you have nothing to worry when it comes to answer plans. We are developing it for you as well, and you'd gain personalized tutor feedbacks for mocks from mocks 3 and up until mock 5. And let me show you the type of feedback you would get. So as you can see, for each and every paragraph, I've provided an evaluation. In-depth evaluations are provided, and I myself will be marking your papers. And at the very end, you can see we give the mark breakdowns. And when providing the mark breakdowns, we are not only giving you the total mark. Instead, we are breaking it down into several subtasks, and we are providing information about a success rate as well. Why are we providing a success rate? We are doing this so that students are in a position to understand um, the subtasks in which they need to really improve the quality of their answers. So after a mock is done, they can go back and figure out where their real shortcomings are, and work on these areas to get rid of the shortcomings. So if I focus on the mark sheet of this student, if you look at task 2B, the student had the success rate of the student is just 26%. The student had only gained 3.5 marks. So rather than attempting the entire mock exam again, the student is only supposed to attempt task 2B again and try to figure out whether in the second attempt, whether the quality of the answer had improved. And the same should be said about task 3A. The success rate is just 42%. So you need to just work on this area as well as task 4A. Rather than attempting the entire paper, you just need to attempt these 3 areas and see whether whether the quality of your answer had improved. So we do all these things to ensure that you can do your preparations within a short period of time in the most efficient manner. Okay, let me get rid of the annotations. All right. Then at the very end, we provide general comments as well. So you are in a position to better understand what your shortcomings are and what you need to do to improve or get rid of these shortcomings. All right, so that's the type of personalized tutor feedback you would get if you utilize our services. So before we move on to the second part of tonight's webinar, where I'll be providing a 6-week study plan, let me talk about what we offer at TCS. So this is the SCS page within our website, which is www.study@tcs.com. So if I take you through to the courses which we're offering, we offer 3 main courses: the essentials package, the value package, as well as the premium package. So if you purchase the essentials package, you'd get your hands on the recorded versions of the 4 webinars which we are conducting. The first of which is being recorded right now. And on top of that, you'd get your hands on the 5 mock exams with suggested answers. And you'd also get your hands on the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. All these material can be accessed via our website through the student dashboard. And the price, the package is priced at £99. And this package is suitable for students who are coming through the CIMA general route and who had aced their OTQ exams or aced their exams pertaining to E3, P3, and F3. So if you are coming through the CIMA general route, if you had gotten really good marks for your OTQ exams, if you had not failed any of the OTQ exams, and if you are extremely comfortable with self-learning, please go for this. This is all the necessary material, which will ensure that you pass the exam comfortably. Then let's move on to the value pack. And within the value pack, you'd get your hands on the 4 recorded versions of the webinars, 5 mock exams with suggested answers, the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, and on top of that, you'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene, so you are in a position to better understand the pre-scene document. You'd get your hands on the industry analysis cards, the financial analysis cards, top 10 likely issues cards, case study familiarization kit, as well as you'd have access to the tutor managed live chat, which is conducted via Twilio. So within our website itself, whenever you are faced with a question or problem, you can get in touch with the tutor, and our tutors are there online for about 12 to 16 hours per day. So whenever you are faced with a problem, you can simply jot it down on the chat section. Our tutors are ready to help you instantaneously. So that's happening within the website. I'm not talking about the WhatsApp group, which is already there. That's a general group. Instead, this tutor managed exclusive live chat is provided, where more theoretical content, more material, additional material will be shared via this chat, as well as providing one-to-one tutor support. And you'd get your hands on the theory recaps pertaining to OTQ syllabus content as well. And the value pack is priced at £199. And if you are a student who had done, even if you're not coming through the CIMA general route, if you had done CIMA case study examination previously, however, if you feel that you need some type of tutor support, one-to-one tutor support, then you can opt for this package, which is priced at £199. And let's look at the premium package. So under the premium package, everything which I highlighted under the value pack will be available. And on top of that, you'd get access to the online mock exam platform or the learning management system. So via this mock exam platform, when it comes to attempting your 5 mocks, you can do it via this mock exam platform, thereby getting accustomed to real life exam conditions. Okay, so we have developed our mock exam platform to be akin to the Pearson VUE system, which you would use at your real exam. So rather than trying to get your bearings pertaining to the technical nitty-gritties of the exam platform, you can do it, or you can practice all your 5 mocks via the exam platform as well itself, thereby getting accustomed to real life exam conditions. Okay, and most students, what I've seen is when it comes to attempting mock exams, I said that there are 3 tasks, and students, what they do is they would attempt task number 1 today, task number 2 tomorrow, and task number 3 day after tomorrow. But at the real exam, you have to sit in one place and attempt the entire paper at a stretch, allocating 3 hours. Okay, so if you attempt mocks via the exam platform, you will avoid a situation where you attempt mocks on or attempt tasks on a daily basis. Instead, you are forced to sit in one place and attempt the entire mock in one go. Then you will get yourself accustomed about exam pressure, and you'd know how to handle exam pressure and gain really good marks at your exam. So that's the benefit of attempting your mocks via the exam platform. And we are providing one-to-one tutor feedback on mocks 3, 4, and 5. And we are providing answer plans under the premium package, which are answer summaries of all 5 mocks, which will be extremely beneficial closer to the exam. And you can get your hands on the 12 master classes where we are explaining the answers of all mocks. And via these answer explanations, as I told you earlier, we are teaching you theory as well as application, and you can attend the 7 tutor-led weekly webinars and workshops. Thereby, on a weekly basis, we'll keep tabs on you to see where you stand as a student, what you need to do to get rid of your shortcomings. So we'll be giving you weekly support, and on top of that, we'll be giving you support on a daily basis via Twilio as well. And you have a monthly installment payment option, and this package comes with a pass guarantee. What is a pass guarantee? If by any chance you end up failing the exam after investing on the premium package, which is highly unlikely, but still if you end up failing the examination, you will get your hands on um, the material available under the premium package free of charge in your subsequent sitting. Okay, so all these things are available under the premium package, and the premium package is priced at £49 plus installments. So the first installment is £99, but we are offering 50% early bird discount. That's why the price is at £49 these days. So the first installment is going to be £49, and there are two remaining installments, monthly installments. The remaining £450 needs to be paid within two monthly installments. And remember that all products are available until the 31st of August 2023. So that means if you're not planning to do your exam in May, but planning to do it in August, you can still purchase it right now. Make use of this 50% discount which we are offering on the first installment, and you can start preparations now itself. You'd have a lot of time on your hands, and you can relax whilst preparing for your upcoming examination in August. All right, so that's what we offer at TCS. Let me remind you about the important dates before we move on to the study plan. So your exam entries are closing on the 16th of May 2023, which is a Tuesday. So remember, if you are to book your exams for the upcoming session in May, you have to do it before the 16th of May. So please remember this date. And exam dates are from the 24th to the 26th of May 2023. All right, so we are moving on to the second part of tonight's webinar, which is the 6-week study plan. So before I take you through the 6-week study plan, any questions, folks? Any doubts? If you have any questions or doubts, you can switch on your mic and talk, or simply jot down your query in the chat section. Any questions? All right, so let's move on to the 6-week study plan. So you can easily access the study plan via our website itself. Okay, so we are in the pre-course session where a week before the pre-scene is released, we commence the pre-course session. And in that, you are supposed to attend the first webinar, study technique, which is happening right now. And in the upcoming days, up until the pre-scene release date, you are supposed to refer to the OTQ theory revision cards, thereby brushing up your knowledge pertaining to E3, P3, and F3 related areas. Okay. And in week 1, which is the most hectic week out of the 7 weeks, you are supposed to do a lot. But a lot means you need not do too much. You just need to allocate 8 hours for studies within the first week. Okay, so you're supposed to attend the second webinar, pre-scene analysis, which is happening on the 3rd of April, which is a Monday. Okay, and after attending this webinar, you are supposed to watch the 4 pre-scene analysis videos. So after going through these 4 pre-scene analysis videos, you are in a position to have an in-depth understanding about the information presented in the pre-scene, and you are supposed to refer to the annotated pre-scene. So after watching the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, we urge you to go through the annotated pre-scene on your own, do up your own notes, or do up your own short note if necessary. And you are supposed to refer to the financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 20 issue slides on your own, thereby doing your own research or own studying in these areas. And within the first week, you are supposed to attempt mock number 1 via the exam platform. So week number 1, right after the pre-scene is released, you watch these 4 videos, go through all the necessary study material which are developed in a way that you better understand the information presented in the pre-scene. And within week 1 itself, you are supposed to attempt the first mock via the exam platform. Okay. So then let's move on to the second week. Within the second week, you are supposed to attend the third webinar, answering technique. So you might be wondering as to why I asked you guys to attempt the first mock before attending the webinar where I'm highlighting answering technique. The intention is to ensure that when you attempt the first mock, you do it fresh without somebody telling you what to do, without somebody giving you all the tips pertaining to how to develop answer plans, how to manage your time, without any type of guidance. I want you guys to attempt mock number one. And once you are done with mock number one, and once you attend the third webinar, you will realize for yourself what your exact shortcomings are. Right. So once you go through the answer planning technique, or the webinar pertaining to answering technique, you'd realize, okay, when it comes to developing answers, this is what I did, but this is what I'm supposed to do. When it comes to managing time, this is what I did, but this is what I'm supposed to do. When it comes to bringing in information from the pre-scene, I just brought in general information, but this guy is talking about how to bring in specific information from the pre-scene so that the quality of your answer improves. You would realize when I was attempting my mock exam, I was not too conversant about mark allocations. I was not too considerate about mark allocations. But after attending the third webinar, you'd realize what you need to do when it comes to understanding the mark allocations, and how you are supposed to gain marks after by understanding the mark allocations for each and every subtask. So I want you guys to do it fresh on your own, so that you stand or you stand a chance of understanding what your real shortcomings are. So attend webinar 3, answering technique, within week number 2. And within week number 2, we'll be explaining the answers of mock number 1, so that you are in a position to better understand what is highlighted within the suggested answers. And you are supposed to attempt mock 2 via the exam platform. Okay. Moving on to the third week, you are supposed to attend the masterclass pertaining to mock 2. Since you had done the second mock within week 2, by week 3 we are explaining the answer, then you'd better understand the contents of the answer, and attempt mock 3 via the exam platform. And from mock 3 onwards, we are providing personalized tutor feedback. So you are supposed to refer to the personalized tutor feedback and watch 3 master classes which are based on mock 3, where we are teaching you theory as well as application based on the suggested answers of mock 3. Okay. So let's assume you are in week 3, and let's assume you attempt your third mock on Tuesday. So you attempt the mock on Tuesday. By Wednesday, you can watch the 3 master classes and understand the logic behind all the answers, understand theory as well as application. And within 48 hours, you would receive personalized tutor feedback. So if you attempt your mock on Tuesday, by Thursday, you would receive personalized tutor feedback. So you have ample amount of time to focus on your shortcomings. Utilizing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can work on your shortcomings. If your answer planning technique is not up to par, you can work on it. If your typing speed is not up to par, you can work on it. If, for instance, you had provided good answers in your entire paper, but in 2 or 3 subtasks, your success rate is low, you can reattempt these subtasks on your own. You can time it and reattempt these subtasks on your own and compare your answer to that of the answer plans which we are providing. So this is an extremely easy way to prepare for your exam. On Tuesday, you do the exam. On Wednesday, you watch the master classes. And on Thursday, you receive the tutor feedback. Then you'd really realize what your shortcomings are, and you have ample amount of time towards the weekend to focus on your shortcomings. And a similar approach needs to be adopted within week number 4. You are supposed to attend webinar number 4, exam prep. That's a free webinar again. And attempt mock 4. refer to personalized tutor feedback, and watch the 3 master classes on mock 4. Okay, and the same should be done in week number 5. And at the very end, what's different in week number 5 is there's a live workshop where I'll be conducting a final Q&A with you guys who had invested on the premium package. So in that, I will be concluding all the sessions and addressing all your concerns, addressing your shortcomings, and providing tips as to what you need to do in the upcoming 2 weeks leading up to the exam, what you need to do to maintain your confidence, and the type of activities you need to do to further improve. So you'd receive one-to-one tutoring as well as mentoring via Twilio, as well as the weekly webinars, master classes, or workshops which we are conducting. And within week number 6, this is a week before the exam, you are not supposed to attempt any mock exams. You are not supposed to go through any syllabus content or whatnot. Simply, you are supposed to refer to the answer plans pertaining to mocks 1 to 5. So within week number 6, what are the other students up to? They are not sleeping properly. They are trying to do everything under the sun. They are trying to attempt 2 mock exams per day. And they are trying to develop answer plans. So they are bombarded with work. And on top of it, they are trying to balance their corporate lives as well as their family commitments. Okay, but if you stick to this study plan, you would be relaxing closer to the exam. You are simply supposed to refer to the answer plans of mocks 1 to 5. As I told you earlier, these are the summaries, answer summaries, which are based on the suggested answers of mocks 1 to 5. You are not supposed to come up with the summaries. We are preparing it for you, and you are supposed to reread the annotated pre-scene one last time and stop preparations a day prior to the exam. Sleep, eat, and rest well. Okay, so if your exam falls on the, let's say, 22nd of May, by the 20th, you have to stop all your work. So you might think that I'm stupid to say something like this, but this helps you extremely well, especially at the SCS exam, because you are supposed to be involved with strategic decision making. So as a strategic decision maker, if you are under stress, you'd take rushed decisions, and these rushed decisions are not always the best decisions out there. Okay, so if you are to take the best decisions, you need to walk into the exam with a relaxed mindset. That's of utmost importance. If you have a relaxed mindset, you'll be confident. And as per the CIMA examiner, confident students end up passing the SCS exam extremely comfortably. Okay, and you need to be open-minded, because an open-minded individual will consider all types of relevant information before finalizing a decision. A confident an open-minded individual will spend some time to come up with will spend some time when coming up with a plan rather than jumping into conclusions. So that's exactly what you are supposed to do at your exam. If you are to be a successful senior finance manager, you need to be confident, you need to be open-minded, and you need to be calm and collected. Okay, so you'd achieve these 3 things if you stick to our study plan, because as per what you can see, within week 6 you are actually relaxing, and you stop all your work and stop going through any type of study material. You are not attempting any mock exams. Instead, you are focusing on getting through your examination. So all in all, if I put the entire study plan into a nutshell, what you need to do as a student is just find 3 hours on a weekly basis to sit in one place and attempt the mock exam via the exam platform. Everything else is handled by us. You need not try and analyze the pre-scene document. We have done it for you. You need not try and research industry dynamics. We have done it for you. You need not find exam specific as well as pre-scene specific questions. We have done it for you. You need not develop answer summaries or answer plans based on the suggested answers, we had done it for you. You need not work with a friend or a study buddy to figure out whether your answers are of a higher level of quality or not. We are providing one-to-one tutor support. Whenever you are faced with a problem, you need not refer to one of your friends, simply refer to a tutor. The tutor is the best person to provide you with the necessary recommendations. So all preparatory work is handled by us. What you need to do is, on a weekly basis, find 3 hours, sit in one place, attempt a mock exam on a weekly basis via the exam platform. Everything else is handled by us. So if you stick to our study plan, you'd spend extremely less amount of time preparing for the exam. However, it's going to be extremely beneficial for you and effective for you, because we have covered everything. We us the tutors at TCS are covering everything on behalf of you. And on top of that, you are in a position to balance your corporate life, your family commitments, as well as prepare for the exam in a relaxed mindset. So all the other students are scrambling for support, you need not worry about anything else, because within the last week you are relaxing, you are not attempting any mock exams. Okay, so that's our 6-week study plan. Any questions, guys? I hope you guys understood what you are supposed to do when it comes to preparing yourself. Any questions, any doubts? I hope I was clear uh, uh, when it comes to the explanations which I've provided so far. All right, seems like there aren't any questions. So let me bring this webinar to a close, so you can contact us. Okay, so Shashi is asking a question, how to check OTQ revision. How to check OTQ revision, in the sense I don't actually get your question fully. But yet I'll try to provide an answer how to check OTQ revision. So according to the study plan, I hope I'm addressing your concern. According to the study plan, in the week leading up to your the pre-scene release, you are supposed to refer to the OTQ revision cards. Then you'd brush up your knowledge in these areas. And on top of that, on a weekly basis, we'll be conducting a webinar, a workshop, or a masterclass, and especially via the masterclasses. As I told you earlier, we will be teaching you theory as well as application. So that's the best way to learn theory. So that's the best way to revise your OTQ related knowledge as well. I hope I addressed your concern. And Sarmad is asking a question. First week would be hectic, going through all the material and theory. You need not go through theory, Sarmad, actually within the first week. Just leave out theory, because theory is covered under the master classes. Instead, it's just a matter of watching 4 videos and referring to the annotated pre-scene and a set of slides on your own. And I'm not talking about strong slides which are extremely lengthy. Our slides come up to something like 15 to 20 slides, and you can easily go through them within 30 minutes. So actually you just need to find 8 hours to allocate to watch these videos and go through the slides, and on top of that, attempt mock number 1. That is not going to be too hectic. Take it from me, Samrad, it's not going to be hectic. I hope I addressed your concern, Samrad. And Sashi, okay, all right. Any other questions, guys? All right, seems like there aren't any more questions. So let me remind you to contact us via our website, which is www.study@tcs.com, or email us via info@study@tcs.com, or simply drop us a message via WhatsApp. I hope you guys are already part of our WhatsApp group. If not, simply go to our website, click on the SCS page, and go to the very end of the page. And by clicking on this button, you can easily join the WhatsApp discussion forum. And on top of that, I urge you to refer to our free content. We have not uploaded any free content as yet because the pre-scene is not out. However, the recorded version of tonight's webinar will be uploaded to the website after the webinar is done, and it will be available under the free content. I urge you guys to go check out our free content. All right. So you can follow us on our social media handles as well, and check out our blog posts whenever you have time. Go to our website and click on this button, and you'd get your hands on all the technical information pertaining to your exam. If you had failed the exam, this highlights what you need to do when it comes to developing plans, what you need to do, how to build a winning attitude. All these things are highlighted within our blog posts, which are extremely important, which will be extremely important for you. And as I told you earlier, we will be sharing with you 4 TikTok videos, and via these 4 TikToks, we'll be covering providing a good summary of the entire pre-scene within 10 to 12 minutes. And we urge you to follow us on our social media pages as well, and the recorded version of this session will be uploaded onto YouTube in a while. All right, concluding thoughts, approach SCS as an opportunity to learn rather than an exam to pass. Then you are in a position to get through this hurdle extremely easily. And I forgot to tell you something. Our pass rate for SCS is 97%. So you need not worry about failing the exam if you stick to our study plan and if you utilize the services which we are offering. Having said that, it brings us to the end of tonight's webinar. Thank you very much for joining in. I value the time you had put in to attend this webinar. And the second webinar is happening on the 3rd of April, and I hope you would join it, where I'll be conducting a pre-scene analysis, industry analysis, as well as highlighting what you need to do when it comes to applying pre-scene information in your answer. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Good night.